Hi everyone, this is Ananta Paulus, and today I'm back with the sixth spiritual law of success, the law of detachment. And the chapter begins with this beautiful quote from the Mundaka Upanishad. Like two golden birds perched on the self-same tree, intimate friends, the ego and the self, dwell in the same body. The former eats the sweet and sour fruits of the tree of life, while the latter looks on in detachment. I feel like that very correctly encapsulates the whole theme of this chapter, which is the law of detachment, which, if you would remember in my previous video about the law of intention and desire, I sort of touched base on the law of detachment. You might have come across the law of detachment in various spiritual books, and I feel like the law of detachment is highly misunderstood by many people. Because sometimes people feel like detachment means being not compassionate or not caring for others, which is really far away from the truth. Like mentioned in this little quote, like two golden birds perched on the self-same tree, intimate friends, the ego and the self, dwell in the same body. The former, which is the ego, eats the sweet and the sour fruits of the tree of life, while the latter looks on in detachment. So what does that really mean? It means that it's the ego that enjoys or takes pleasure from any activity. The self, on the other hand, your true self, your spirit, your source, that doesn't take pain or pleasure from anything, but it is constantly ecstatic. It is constantly in a joyous state, but it is not attached to any outside event, any outside circumstances or things for its joy or pleasure or pain. So it is only looking at in detachment towards everything that the ego or the identity of ourselves that we have created, everything that the ego calls as pain or pleasure, the source or our self is only looking at it in detachment. According to the law of detachment, in order to acquire anything in life, in order to manifest anything in life, you have to give up your attachment to it. But that does not mean that you give up your intention or your desire. Like we saw in the previous chapter, you don't give up on your desire, on your intention or on your goal. But what you do give up on is your attachment to the outcome. Because attachment to the outcome comes from a place of insecurity. The self or your source is never attached to the outcome because it is never feeling doubt, it is never feeling insecure, it is never feeling that if I don't get that man in my life or if I don't get that woman in my life, I will be lonely forever. I don't know who else can I get. Or it doesn't feel like if I don't get that job or if I don't have that money, I will not be happy, I'll not get what I want. Or my sense of security or my sense of self-worth is dependent upon my possessions or my money or my degrees or the wealth that I accumulate. And that's why we spoke about being self-referral versus being object-referral in the very first video in this video series. If you haven't checked out that video yet, the link is below in the description. Check that out. I would highly recommend, in fact, watching all the previous videos where I have discussed the other 5 spiritual laws of success. So I would highly recommend that you watch those videos as well. That's why understanding what being self-referral really means is so important, because the self is never dependent upon outside objects for its sense of self-worth, for its happiness or its joy. The self or your source or your spirit is eternally joyful. It is ecstatic and it doesn't need a reason for it. It is unconditionally ecstatic. It is unconditionally happy and joyful because it is unconditionally alive. It doesn't get its aliveness from anything external. It is self-sustaining. So when you relinquish your attachment to the outcome, that is a very powerful state to be in, because you are giving the message to the universe that you are completely secure and you are totally fine with uncertainty. Because the law of detachment is essentially about making peace with uncertainty, working on your goals, working on your desire and intentions, and at the same time knowing that what your intention or your goal is, it may or may not happen, but being 100% okay with that. So you might wonder, why should I even work on my desire or my intention? Why should I even strive for anything if there is no guarantee? Well, in short, there is no guarantee in life. There is no certainty or no security in life. The only security is only in death. the only security you will find ever, or if you are looking for 100% security and certainty, that you will only find in death. Because only in death nothing can touch you. While you are alive, anything can happen. Anything can happen right now, anything can happen this very second, the next minute, the next day, the next week, the next month, and you may or may not be alive even. So the whole point of this game that we are playing on planet Earth is just for the joy or the fun in the game. It's like the joy is in the journey, not the destination. Every time you get attached to the outcome, if you are just a little bit sensitive, or if you just do a little self-introspection, you will realize that your attachment invariably is from a place of fear and uncertainty or insecurity. Whenever you are in fear or insecurity, you would tend to get very attached to the outcomes. And that insecurity or fear actually keeps you away from manifesting that outcome. When you are self-referral, yourself is never based on fear or lack or insecurity. The self is aware of the fact that it has infinite organizing power. It has the power to bring forth infinite number of time-space events and line them up in such a synchronistic manner for you that whatever that is that you were aiming to achieve, you could get that or something way more miraculous. Attachment, on the other hand, always comes from a poverty consciousness or a lack consciousness. Whenever you feel that there is not enough, there is only that one job, and if I don't get that, there isn't any other job that is as good as that one. Or there is only this particular avenue through which I could make this much money, and if I cannot make this happen in this particular way, then in this whole wide universe, there is no other way I could be making that much money doing something else. Or even when you get attached to a particular person or situation or thing, whatever it might be, it is always from a place of poverty consciousness that this is the best that I could possibly get. If I lose this job or I lose this person, then I might not get even this much. I might not get anything better than this, but I might not even get this much. I might never get anything again. So that is always coming from a place of poverty consciousness or lack consciousness or some kind of fear-based belief system that you might have picked up. However, when you are working on your intentions or on your goals from a place of detached involvement, that is the key. You are detached, but you are involved. You are 100% committed to your goal. You are 100% committed to your intention. And at the same time, you are 100% detached. It might sound paradoxical, but often paradoxes are the point of power. So it might sound like, how come you can be detached and also involved? You can be. Involvement has nothing to do with attachment. Attachment is always fear-based. Involvement is just based on your interest because you love doing that thing so much. You're doing something just for the sake of doing it because you're getting so much joy from that activity, from that action. It has nothing to do with your attachment to what you are going to get from that particular activity or action. You're not doing the activity because you are so attached to the fruits of that work or fruits of that labor, but just because that particular work or that particular action or activity excites you so much, it brings you so much joy that you are doing it just for the sake of joy and not for the end result, not for the applause or the appreciation or the medals and the certificates that you are going to get at the end of it. Again, there is no wrong in getting applause and appreciation and certificates and rewards for your actions, for something that you have done well. But if that is the only reason you're doing, or if that is the driving force behind all your actions, then that will always take you 2 steps backwards when it comes to manifesting that which you want. So detachment is synonymous with wealth consciousness, because until unless you are able to detach yourself from the outcome, you are a prisoner of helplessness, hopelessness, and just the mundane chores of daily life. As long as you are attached to the outcomes, you will always feel hopeless or helpless because you are trying to control the outcome so much, and at the end of the day, the outcomes are never under our control. We think we can manipulate others and make them do what we want them to do, but at the end of the day, we cannot really control what others are doing. We cannot really control what is going on outside. And so the more attached you become to a certain goal or a certain outcome, the more hopeless or the more helpless you start feeling. In fact, the more control-oriented you are, the more you are wanting to control, the more helpless and hopeless you will start feeling in life. And the more life will seem mundane and dull to you. And what Deepak Chopra mentions very correctly is, without detachment, we are prisoners of helplessness, hopelessness, mundane needs, trivial concerns, quiet desperation, and seriousness, the distinctive features of everyday mediocre existence and poverty consciousness. And that's 100% true. True wealth consciousness is the ability to have whatever you want, whenever you want it, with the least amount of effort. But when you get attached to the outcome, then if you remember the law of least effort, which says that everything that you want, you should be able to get it with the least amount of effort, because that is how the universe operates. When you get attached to an outcome, then you actually have to put way more effort, because your attachment just makes everything so much more harder. It creates a lot of resistance, because attachment comes from poverty consciousness. In fact, even attachment to money is a sign of insecurity, because the reason you get attached to money is because you feel there is not enough to go around. And that's why you have to save, you have to hustle, you have to work really hard, and everything has to be made about money. Those who try to seek security through money, in fact, are often chasing money all their life. And you might have come across many rich people who are so insecure that even though they have all the riches in the world, and yet they cannot get a good night's sleep, because they are constantly worrying about how they can preserve their wealth so that nobody takes it away from them. In fact, the whole search for security is an illusion. One of the reasons why we chase any of our goals, why we get attached to our goals, is because we feel that if we have that goal, then we can be happy, or we can be safe and secure forevermore. But attachment to safety and security through outside objects is always an illusion, because outside objects cannot bring us safety, security, and outside objects cannot bring us happiness either. Sure, of course, if you have money, you can go on a nice vacation and you can buy a lot of nice good things. But there are many rich people who have plenty of money and yet they commit suicide. Yet they are so depressed. There are so many celebrities committing suicide out of depression. That should give you some indication as to how much joy money can possibly bring. And not just money, as to how much joy anything external can possibly bring. Your ability to accept uncertainty, on the other hand, will greatly enhance your ability to manifest that which you want in your life. Because uncertainty is the fertile ground of pure potentiality that we discussed in one of the previous videos in the law of pure potentiality. That uncertainty is that fertile ground. Because coming to think about it, what is certain in life? Sorry about that music in the background. Just try to ignore that. Coming back to certainty, if you really look into it, what exactly is certainty? Certainty is everything that is known. And what is known? Known is the past. Everything that you have experienced in the past, that is certain, that is known. And anything that you have not experienced so far, that's in the future and that is unknown and that is uncertain. So basically, if you want to be certain all the time, if you want to be secure all the time, then all you need to do is just keep on repeating the past over and over. Whatever you've already done, just keep on doing that over and over. Whatever you've already experienced, just keep on experiencing that over and over. But what kind of a life would that be, where you only repeat your past experiences over and over? There is nothing new, there are no new learnings, there is no uncertainty, there is no insecurity, but there is no life either. You literally become the victim of your past, and you keep on tormenting yourself with past memories, past ideas, which might not even be working for you right now. When you are willing to step outside of the known, to step outside of your comfort zone, so to speak, then you actually open up this whole infinite possibilities that the universe holds for you. So when you are experiencing uncertainty, you are actually on the right track. So keep it up. So the law of detachment does not interfere with the law of intention and desire. The law of detachment doesn't say that you have to give up on your desire or your intention. However, let's say your goal is to go from point A to point B. Between point A and point B, there are infinite choices, there are infinite opportunities. When you are detached to your outcome, let's say you are detached to whether you go to point B or not, then you are open to all of those infinite opportunities that the universe can now offer to you. Otherwise, you are totally blind. You are only thinking that you need to go from point A to point B. It doesn't matter if there is a point in between A and B, which is actually even more magical, even more wonderful than that point B. You just get focused on point B so much, you miss out on a lot of magical things in between. So in fact, the law of detachment accelerates the whole evolution process. Because evolution is not about being stuck in the past. Evolution is always forward looking, it is always forward moving. It is always about expansion and growth. And expansion and growth does not happen in the past. It does not lie in repeating the past over and over. So previously I've talked about having detached involvement. So what does that mean? How does that look like? Well, when you are involved fully but also detached, then you give your 100% to everything that you are doing with 0% attachment to the outcome. You're doing it just because of the joy of doing that. You're doing it just because that's who you are and that's how you are. You just give everything your best, not because you are getting something out of it. And often people confuse detachment with apathy. And in fact, I would say that a lot of New Age spiritual teachers try to hide their own apathy with detachment. And they use detachment as a masquerade just because it is more spiritual. But if you're a little bit observant, you can feel the difference. There is a difference between detachment and apathy. Apathy is coming from a very disempowered place. Apathy is coming from a place where you feel like, what's the use of even doing this? It's not going to work. It's not going to work out the way I want it to. So I better not even take any action. That is how apathy feels like and looks like. But detachment, on the other hand, is it doesn't matter whether it works or not. It's fun for the time being. And I really want to do it. I'll do it anyways. Who cares what it's going to be like? I really want to do it and I'll do it anyways, just for the fun of it, just because it's so much fun, it's exhilarating, it's joyful. It makes me happy. Doesn't matter whether it brings me money or not, doesn't matter whether I get something else out of it or not, doesn't matter if I get any rewards, applause, appreciation, incentives, bonuses, anything or not. It just makes me happy and this is just who I am. I just love to do this, that's why I'm doing it. So that is the difference between detachment and apathy. And detachment is also not a lack of compassion. Just like I previously mentioned, that detachment is one of the characteristics of your source, of the self. And the self is always full of compassion and love. Detachment is only detachment from the outcomes that your ego thrives on. The ego loves outcomes. The ego wants the pleasure. The ego wants the applause and the appreciation. There is nothing wrong with getting them, but as long as you are able to keep yourself unattached to those applause and outcomes, you will be able to manifest your goals way more faster, because now you are open to this source of infinite pure potentiality. So here are the 3 ways you can start applying the law of detachment in your life on a daily basis. Just making this your mantra every day, that today I will allow myself and everybody else to be just the way they are. So being more accepting. Acceptance is the key, because one of the things that happens when you get attached is that you become less and less accepting of how things are. Because now you have such rigid ideas about how things should be that you just cannot accept how things are. So acceptance is the number 1 key. Secondly, accepting uncertainty. Not just being accepting towards others and situations and circumstances, but also being open to uncertainties in life. Being open to not knowing what's going to happen. Making peace with uncertainty. And thirdly, being in a state of excitement and anticipation, just like a child. If you would observe children carefully, they are never trying to control anything, at least children up to a certain age. Then they start learning how they can control their parents. But before that, they are usually pretty open and accepting and always excited about everything new. And however, as adults, we become so fearful about everything that we don't want to try anything new, we don't want to go anywhere new, we don't want to experience anything new. So just bringing ourselves into that childlike place of excitement, just going with the flow. So I hope that video made sense to you. If you liked it, then like it, subscribe to my channel and leave your comment below. I will see you next week with the 7th and the final spiritual law of success, which is the law of dharma, or purpose in life. So stay tuned and remember to subscribe to my channel. Bye for now.